February is Black History Month, the time set aside to raise awareness about people and events not often included in the history books.
Some of that history does include slavery. Our Wanda Stark is here now to tell us how some historic sites in our state are working to change that perception. Wanda.
Well, slavery has often been called America's original sin, a topic many people don't feel comfortable discussing and one often glossed over in American history. Well, now a number of historic sites in North Carolina are working to tell a more full and inclusive story about slavery in our state. Traveling down a gravel road in Durham County, pine trees towering on both sides, we arrive at Staggville Plantation, a place that helped define North Carolina history.
North Carolina would not be North Carolina. Our nation would not be our nation without the labor, the forced free labor of millions of African Americans.
Dr. Arwen Smallwood is professor and chair of the history department at North Carolina A&T State University.
The planting and harvesting and cultivating of tobacco from the colonial period through the antebellum period really built the state of North Carolina.
And Staggville played a major role. This house, one of the few remaining on the property, was the first in what became one of the largest plantation complexes in the South.
There were about 900 men, women, and children who were enslaved here and held captive on that land.
The land, 50 square miles, 30,000 acres, owned by the Benahan and Cameron families, who became some of the wealthiest in the state.
Such a long legacy in the United States of plantation sites failing to tell a full and inclusive history.
Vera Soselski, site director at Historic Staggville, says the focus today is on the people who were never photographed, enslaved men, women, and children who labored from sunrise to sunset, worked the fields, cooked the food, and built houses. People who dreamed of a life outside these walls, free from the horrors of slavery.
Well, the master had the right to separate the husband from the wife, separate children from their parents, and sell them off. And who would like to have their 13-year-old daughter taken from them and sold to a plantation owner who possibly could rape or molest that child?
This office space at Staggville was where the plantation owner kept notes on the births of enslaved children and records of slave trade.
It's the first enslaved person that we know of here in 1771. That was a 12-year-old boy named Scrub who was brought here from Norfolk, Virginia.
13 years later, Scrub was a fugitive, a $30 reward offered for his capture.
Slaves resisted the institution whenever they could. They would slow down work, they would destroy barns and destroy farm equipment. They ran away.
Mary Walker, the caregiver for this girl, a Cameron daughter described as sickly, ran away during a medical trip.
She, like many enslaved women here, was facing a renewed threat of sexual assault from white men on this plantation. And so that summer when they were in Philadelphia, she was able to make contact with the Vigilance Committee.
She was one of only 3 people believed to have escaped from Staggville.
This site is the only surviving set of slave quarters from the Benahan and Cameron plantations.
This site, known as Horton Grove, has the only 2-story slave quarters remaining in North Carolina. Anywhere from 20 to 30 people lived in these 4-room structures, but most did not.
Many families here were forced to live in buildings that were small 1-room log cabin houses, often with almost no window openings in the space and with very little insulation or ventilation.
A doll made of rough cotton cloth found in the eaves of one of the buildings provides a small glimpse of one of the few joys of enslaved children. 2 sticks hidden inside the walls of a building, treasured items linked to West African tradition.
A faith belief that placing those items into the building would help to protect and give safekeeping to the people who are living in that house.
And the house, built by enslaved people, carpenters, stonemasters, and brick masons. In the summer of 1850, 1,000 bricks were made here by hand.
So you can see someone's thumbprint right there in that brick. You can see someone's fingers on the edge of that brick. So this is a very small child's foot here, probably a very young person who maybe their mother or father was carrying them with them to where they were working.
A lot of human stories in these spaces.
Absolutely, and we treasure these marks because those fingerprints are so individual, right? You visualize the person whose thumb, whose finger pressed into that clay and made that mark here.
And help make North Carolina what it is today. The remains of historic Staggville consist of 71 acres. Liggett and Myers Tobacco Company, which owned the land for decades, donated some of the land to the state, which now operates it as a historic site.
I can't imagine how many stories are there. If it's something somebody wants to go see, is it open for the public?
Absolutely, and that's the thing. A lot of people don't know it's there. I've talked to people who went to school in Durham and didn't know it exists.
Wow.
But yes, you just call the site and you can get an organized tour. You can just go on your own.
And today is only February 6th. My understanding this is the first of many sites and locations you're going to be profiling with historical significance during this Black History Month.
Absolutely. We're going to be traveling to Guilford College, the woods of Guilford College, to talk about the role of the Underground Railroad, and we'll be also visiting some sites in eastern North Carolina, so a lot of ground to cover.